Zombies are dangerous, but in many zombie stories, the person who gets you killed is someone you love. Hi, I'm Dr. Dan, the pop culture prof. I've noticed that when I watch zombie movies, the zombies are not usually the greatest threat. In The Walking Dead, for instance, every season brought out a new villain who was far more dangerous than any zombie could ever be. Now, in many zombie stories, people die because they cannot let go of someone that they love. A zombie may look like a spouse, parent, child, or friend, but that familiarity creates hesitation, denial, and unfortunately, dangerous hope. The real conflict becomes memory versus reality. Now, George Romero changed the zombie permanently in 1968 with his groundbreaking film, Night of the Living Dead.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Prior to this, zombies were usually associated with folklore, voodoo, enslavement, and the loss of free will. Now, Night of the Living Dead transformed the zombie into the contagious, flesh-eating corpse we know and love today. Now, Romero's zombies were never merely monsters. They were really tools that exposed problems present in American society. For instance, the coverage of the Vietnam War was really callous and inhumane. And Romero leaned into that with his coverage of how people were, quote unquote, shooting them in the head.
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot him in the head. That's a sure way to kill him. If you don't, get yourself a club or a torch. Beat him or burn him. They go up pretty easy.
Now, the collapse of civilization in a zombie narrative reveals the weaknesses within family structure, communities, and institutions. Now, a family does become a threat in almost every zombie narrative. Horror traditionally presents the family and home as places of security, but that gets distorted in a zombie narrative. Zombies reverse it because the person someone most wants to protect may become the greatest danger. Love encourages characters to deny what has happened, and their survival requires accepting an emotionally unbearable truth that the loved one that they used to know is permanently gone. In Night of the Living Dead, this is illustrated when Harry and Helen Cooper hide in the cellar with their injured daughter, Karen. It's very clear to everybody watching that Karen is going to turn into one of these flesh-eating creatures. She has been bitten, and she's rapidly deteriorating. Karen's been bitten, but her parents continue to treat her as a sick child, not the monstrous threat that she has become. They cannot accept the fact that she is becoming something else, committing matricide within moments. The family's refusal to recognize reality literally destroys the family. The conflict among the living is nearly as dangerous as the zombies outside. In Night of the Living Dead, the people fight amongst each other, and even Barbara is unable to see her monstrously transformed brother as anything but her brother. Of course, he pulls her into the zombie horde, and she also dies. Now, The Walking Dead does this as well. Herschel keeps walkers in his barn because he believes that there are sick people who may be cured. While his hope is humane, it places everybody around him in danger. Similarly, the governor keeps his daughter Penny hidden and refuses to let her go. Both men, even though one is a villain and one is a hero, allow emotional attachment to override their reality. And the series repeatedly asks whether blood relationships should matter more than survival, and this is really illustrated in the sibling relationship between Daryl and his brother Merrill. As biological families collapse, survivors create replacement families based on loyalty and trust, and we see this again and again in The Walking Dead. Now, In the Flesh complicates the usual zombie story because some of the dead regain consciousness. In this particular story, Kieran returns home with memories, guilt, and awareness of what he did while he was undead. I will add a note here, perhaps a trigger warning, that Kieran did commit suicide, and this creates an awful lot of trauma that really never gets worked through in the 2 seasons that this show aired. His family wants to believe that the person that they loved has returned, and the surrounding community continues to see him as a monster. Overall, Kieran just really doesn't fit in. He's neither living nor dead. And when you're neither, what are you? The series really struggles with that question of identity. Now, in zombie narratives, zombies erase the boundary between the loved one and a monster. Body remains recognizable even when the identity of the person once loved is gone. And killing the zombie becomes both necessary and morally horrifying at the same time. And while love may be a virtue, it can also endanger everyone else. Zombies may cause the apocalypse, but human denial makes it much worse. The cruelest demand of a zombie story is not that we fight the dead, it's that we recognize when someone we love is truly gone. In the end, the real enemy in zombie stories is not a zombie. It's our inability to let go. It's our inability to see the reality around us, and it's our unwillingness to accept change. If you enjoyed this dive into the zombie genre, I have 2 articles I published that are freely available online. I will put the links in the description and in the first pinned comment below. Also, please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.